Hey you guys, what's going on? Look, I wanted to make a really quick video this week. I wanted to address this whole issue about the Deliveroo strike. So Deliveroo has just become a publicly traded company, and in conjunction with them becoming a publicly trading company where you can buy stocks and all that business. Oops, sorry, I'm shaking everything. The IWGB, the union that I'm a part of, is striking, has called for a general sort of nationwide Deliveroo strike. And riders in general are striking for better pay. With Deliveroo and Uber Eats, you are a self-employed, independent contractor. And that means that you are subject to the whims and the mercy of supply and demand. We all knew that going in. I also work for Stuart. Now with Stuart, I book slots. I also work as an independent contractor, taking jobs or not as offered. But I often work slots, as you know, and I often work the Apple slots. And the Apple slots are, I'm going to adjust this a bit so I'm not looking down at the camera. Is that better? There we go. So I work Apple slots. Now, this is still in court because it's very clear, but when you work a slot for Stuart, you are arguably a LIMB worker. That means that you are a dependent contractor. When I go to work for Stuart and I work an Apple slot, I agree that I will take every trip that's offered to me. Every trip. I think I am allowed to miss one trip per slot, either by just missing it or by declining it. And in exchange for me going where I'm told and delivering what I'm supposed to deliver and being where I'm supposed to be, I receive £12 an hour minimum guarantee, £12 an hour to deliver Apple products. I think that's an awesome deal. I love doing Stuart Apple slots. Sometimes it's busy, sometimes it's not. The work's not hard, but it gets me out and about, and they're usually long deliveries, so there's lots of just riding around. There's no queuing at restaurants. It's awesome. So I'm a LIMB worker already for Stuart because I work slots. I'm also a self-employed independent contractor for Stuart, just like Deliveroo and Uber Eats, because sometimes I will just take a trip as it's offered to me. Okay? If you work a normal Stuart slot, so not Apple slot, but a normal Stuart slot, you only get paid $8.75 an hour, so a minimum wage. That's a minimum guarantee. So you can make more than that, but if it's not very busy, they will top you up to at least minimum wage. That's how that works. I don't need to be a LIMB worker for Deliveroo and Uber Eats. It's kind of nice to, have that incredible flexibility of knowing that if I want to, I can just say, screw it, turn off my app and go home whenever I want, and nothing happens. Freedom! All right. If I'm on slot for Stuart and I do that, then I lose my minimum guarantee for any of the time I've already worked, and obviously for the rest of the slot. So I am also an employee. So I have just taken on a job with JustEat in London. In London, not in the rest of the country, but in London, JustEat, the guys in orange, they are employees of JustEat Takeaway. That means that I tell them my availability and they assign me a shift. Now I've asked for a 0-hour contract, which means that I don't have to take any shifts if I don't want them. It also means that I can just look and see what's available and choose to accept it in advance. All right. So in exchange for that, what I do is I wear my orange and I go out and there's no option to decline. You're working for them. They're paying you £10.20 an hour. £10.20 an hour plus 25p for every delivery that you do. So that gives you a little incentive to make more money and do more deliveries. Plus I get an extra 20p per mile because I use my own electric bike. So I'm an employee. That means that I get, holiday pay, if I've accrued enough hours, all the rules around that. But it also means that if I have had enough in the middle of my shift, I can't just pack it in and go home. I've got to have a really good reason. I've got to be able to prove that I'm ill or something like that, or that I've got a flat tire. And if that happens too much, I'll get sacked. All right, that's the way jobs work. All right, so I am not self-employed for JustEat. I am self-employed for Stuart, Deliveroo, and Uber Eats. And technically, I'm a self-employed dependent contractor for Stuart because I almost only work slots. But Apple slots are an awesome deal, so I am not complaining. I like being able to work a few hours here and a few hours there, 20 minutes here, 20 minutes there. I'm off to go and do some errands. I'll do a Deliveroo trip on my way home. I'm off to, pick something up from somewhere else or do something else. I'll pick up an Uber Eats on my way home. I really like being able to do that. If I had to book slots with those guys in exchange for a minimum guarantee and then be obliged to accept whatever they offer me, I don't think I'd be as happy. That said, if you are relying on a single platform like Deliveroo, for example, to feed your family, and that platform isn't feeding your family, then you either need to get on more platforms or you need to get a more reliable job. That's my opinion. All of that said, my Deliveroo app is well and firmly off today. I'm not working because I'm not a scab. I'm not a scab. I'm not going to go out there and be a scab worker. I'm just not going to do that. That goes against everything that I believe in. I'm also not going out because I do support the IWGB union. Regardless of whether I'm an independent contractor or a dependent contractor, I do think Deliveroo has issues. The issues that I have with Deliveroo are the payment algorithm, Frank, is not transparent. I've looked everywhere and they have not released exactly how our pay is calculated. There's no way to find out. That means they can change it whenever they like, and they have, without telling us. Non-transparent sackings. People have been sacked from the platform for things they didn't do, and they can prove it. But there's no transparency and there's no right of appeal. I don't believe in that. I think that's crap. I would like to know how I'm getting, what is the algorithm by which you are offering me money for jobs that I do? It's low pay per drop. The pay per drop is not great unless there's a multiplier on, and frankly, compared to Uber Eats, Deliveroo's multipliers are fewer and farther between. So, and they're lower. So Deliveroo, there's two more things I don't appreciate with Deliveroo. Wait time. You can reject an offer. Like if you go to a restaurant and they say, "Oh, sorry, mate, it's going to be 20 minutes." No problem. You can reject and you can move on. But on a busy Friday night, I've had to do that for several restaurants in a row. And then if you do wait, if they say, "Oh, it's just going to be 5 minutes," and you do wait, and suddenly that turns out to be 20 minutes, well, that's time that you could have been doing another trip. So I really think that there should be paid waiting time or some sort of way of penalizing restaurants. Some way to make sure that riders don't spend their entire night, on a busy Friday night, either going from, cancel because of long waiting time, or wait, and losing money all the time. Unpaid waiting time is an issue for me. There are platforms, gig economy platforms, self-employed, independent contractor, gig economy platforms, where after X number of minutes, the rider gets a bonus of some kind, a waiting time payment, as long as you can prove that you were there and stuff like that. And finally, look, Deliveroo keeps hiring riders. They keep hiring them. And that means that since I started working for Deliveroo, then compared to now, there's less work to go around. I made one video a few weeks ago where I had all my platforms on for 5 or 6 hours on a Sunday, covering the lunch run, covering the lunch period. And I didn't get a single offer for Deliveroo, and I was in the prime areas because I was getting loads of Uber Eats and even some Stuart deliveries. So, you know, there are some problems with Deliveroo. And I think that people should have the right to form unions. And generally speaking, I support the union. I don't necessarily want to add Deliveroo and Uber Eats to my list of people I am a dependent contractor for, because I do appreciate the flexibility of being able to say, nope, sorry, don't want that trip. It's going in the direction I don't want to go. I like that flexibility. However, there are some issues you need to address, and non-transparent payment algorithm, non-transparent sackings, low pay per drop, multipliers are few and far between, unpaid waiting time, way too many riders on the road. So, do riders a favor. If you don't agree with this strike, and like I say, I have 2 points of view on this. Just please don't be a scab. Don't turn on your Deliveroo app today. Nobody wins with scab labor. So yeah, it's just not cool. And yep, everyone that takes a job with Deliveroo and Uber Eats knows what they're getting into when they're hired. Are there problems? There's absolutely some problems. Are there some unfair things? There's absolutely some unfair things. But I support the strike for all those other reasons that I listed, not just because we're not getting paid enough. Other people have said this before. You need 0 qualifications for this job. All you have to do is have a bike and be able to read a map and not be an idiot, be able to find addresses and stuff like that. So, do I think that means you should make less than minimum wage? No. Minimum wage is called minimum wage. However, self-employed people often don't make minimum wage. Self-employed people, I've been self-employed for the last 15 years. I have often not made minimum wage, but that was my choice. I was a web designer and I didn't have a lot of clients, so I often made less than minimum wage, and that was my choice. As soon as I decided that I needed to make a little more money, I got more jobs. And that's why I worked for Deliveroo, Uber Eats, Stuart, JustEat, Pake, although that's a bit of a joke because I've hardly ever worked at all for Pake. I'm a web designer. I maintain people's websites. I do some teaching with VIP Kid. Whatever honest work comes in, I will take it. And maybe that's what you need to do. If you're relying on Deliveroo, you're relying on the wrong thing. You need to work more and work smarter. Deliveroo is a independent contractor job. I kind of think it should stay that way. I also think that they need to address some issues. And that is my opinion. Okay, I've said enough. Look, I wanted to give you my opinion. Please don't be a scab. Please keep your Deliveroo apps off today. Thank you.